A customer at a car dealership refused to have her car serviced by a woman. Now, there was a video that was posted to TikTok. It got about 1.5 million views. It's now no longer available, but it was posted by a service advisor at a car dealership named Rachel. Now, in it, this service advisor was fielding a call from a customer called Autumn. So now this customer had called in, basically asking for service on her car, but demanded that no woman touch her car, but just, hey, I need a man to fix my car. And I'm not going to do anything unless it's a man. I'd like to talk to a man. She said, my opinion is females don't belong in a service department. They belong behind the scenes doing the paperwork. To which she responded, look, there's no males in our service department. I'm sorry. Let's see. According to the text overlaid by the poster, the service writers, who are all the liaison between the car dealership and the customers, are all women, while all the technicians are men. The woman asked to be transferred to a male worker, which then the only male worker was somebody in sales. So they transfer her over. She gets nowhere because he's in sales and he can't actually help her with any of that. And so now they get back on the phone with these women here in the service department. The woman then requested an appointment for Saturday to have her oil change, adding that, I just hope there are no females on the desk when I get there. There will be a woman, most likely another service writer, could be heard in the background. Autumn then reiterated to the woman that there are no male workers in the service department and offered to transfer the woman to the sales manager once again. As long as there is a male in the shop to change my oil, that would be fine, the woman said. I do not want a female working on my car. She then explained her reasoning, saying the last time she had something done in her car, it was supposed to be a 5-minute job. Well, how do you know? Well, how do you know? Since you're a lowly woman and don't know anything about cars, how did you know it was only a 5-minute job? You don't know. You don't know. Your own reasoning, kind of faulty. But then said, I ended up sitting there for a freaking hour and I had to go track down a male to get my car because the females were incompetent of paging me. According to the text, the event Karen brought up is when she refused to reschedule due to the shop getting hit with COVID and being down 4 different technicians. So the shop was behind, and she was told at the extended wait time. Apparently it didn't matter. She didn't listen to any of that. In one ear, out the other. It was supposed to be a 5-minute job. Yeah, when somebody actually works on it. But if you are down 4 different technicians, you only have 1 left. What are you going to do? What are you supposed to do? Just the ridiculousness. I mean, it just the Karen levels are off the scale. Now, the owner of this had seen the video and was shocked and outraged over this, saying, quote, females in our dealership are treated with equal opportunities. Our service director fired her as a customer. Bye-bye, Karen. So now what's interesting here is, to me, this is how internalized sexism works. This woman just had no idea. She could not believe that a woman could ever work on her car. Oh my God, have you ever heard such a thing? A woman working on a car? Oh, yeah, actually I have. I know a lot of women that work on their own cars. One of my good friends from high school, actually, her and her husband, they love cars. They work on them together. They race them at the local track. It's kind of awesome. But, you know, look, I know generally working on cars is something that is not considered traditionally feminine. Well, for one, I don't care. I don't see what the big deal is. If you want to work on your car, if you like cars, work on your car. If you don't like working on your car, then don't work on your car. Again, it all depends on who you are. It depends on what you like and how comfortable you are with mechanical stuff. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a big surprise for me to tell you that I do not do well with mechanical stuff. I'm not very good with my hands, at least when it comes to, doing work on cars and other things. I still do those things. I still do, what I can. And of course, YouTube tutorials are fantastic for that, showing me how to do those things that, I'm not good at and whatever. I didn't grow up working on cars. I didn't grow up really working on anything. And so, a lot of what I do is I just do it because I have to. I don't like to do it. I'd rather take it into the shop. But there are people that don't have that option. There are people that don't have money. I mean, think of the single mother, right? Single mother doesn't really have the money to take things into a shop, doesn't really have a man around or anybody to help them. But you think they're going to sit there and wait for a man to come save them and change their oil? No, they're going to change their own goddamn oil. They're going to change their own tires. Totally fine. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, think of all that they have to do. So the whole thing about women, shouldn't be working on cars or shouldn't be doing any of that, it's just ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. But again, where the sexism comes into play, it's not just towards women, by the way. It was also towards the men. Again, she's like, I have to speak to a male. The only guy was in sales. And he's like, that's not my job. That's not my job. I'll tell you something. That's my job. But no, just because I'm a dude does not mean I'm going to go and change your oil. That's a ridiculous assumption. Not all guys know how to change oil. Not every guy wants to be able to do that. Now, I think that, of course, again, if you want to work on cars or if you want to learn some of the basics, for example, I think it's fundamentally, important for you to know how to change a tire. I think that's really important. You get stuck, middle of nowhere with a flat tire, yeah, go, look, you should know how to be able to, put your donut on or your spare tire or whatever. That's just smart. And I encourage everybody to be able to do that, and to learn that. That's easy stuff. And also, it's useful if you either can't afford a tow truck or you don't want to wait for a tow truck. And that's it. But again, this doesn't have to do, these are basic skills that don't have anything to do with gender. It just doesn't. It doesn't matter what you have between your legs. If you want to work on a car, you can work on a car. And the only thing there is you just have to educate yourself on what you're doing. And that's it. And everybody is capable of understanding and doing that. These traditional gender roles are kind of stupid when you think about it. And again, and the reason that I hate them is because they pigeonhole people. Everybody's different. Everybody's different. And if I've learned anything in my entire life, it's that you try to pigeonhole people, you try to stereotype people. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. So now there's a couple of comments here from some of the users. One of them says, as a female mechanic, I am livid. And again, there are female mechanics. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that's great. Another person says, I would have said, I completely understand, ma'am. Can I speak to the man of the house to confirm that what you're saying is correct? Oh, that's a good one. Oh, that's a good one. And others shared how they, of course, faced sexism for being women in an auto shop or service department, saying, I work in a body shop. We experience the same thing. And then another one points out a low-key dig that women tend to get when they work in that industry. Quote, I want to talk to someone who knows about cars. Well, again, why can't a woman know about cars? Again, if you're into it, you're into it. If you're not into it, you're not into it. Totally fine. I think everybody should have the option and the ability to learn whatever the hell they want without any sort of judgment. So, I mean, that's what I feel about this. Obviously, not everybody's going to agree. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to get some hateful comments from right-wingers and probably even some, some ladies that are like, no, our job is in the kitchen. Hey, look, if that's what you want to do, if you're, traditional, call yourself a traditional female, that's fine. You could do whatever you want. Just don't trash on other people for doing what they want. Don't be like this Karen and just completely disregard someone that can actually fix your car. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.